address to the particular interface means it automatically generate the link local address. So using link local address we can communicate within the network. If you want to communicate from one network to another network means through the global address only we can communicate. So in router 0 we can go to the fast ethernet 0/0. So in that interface we can just give IP version 6 enable means it automatically generate the link local address. Just enable the IP version 6 on particular interface means it automatically generate the link local address. Using link local address we can communicate within the network. If you want to communicate from one network to another network means we can assign global address. Okay, so this is a default gateway FE80::. So 2E0 it is a MAC address of fast ethernet 0/0 is an 48-bit address. First 24 bits, next we can include FFFE, next 24 bits of MAC address of fast ethernet 0/0. Now we can auto generate the IP version 6 address on PC 1. IP version 6 config auto config. IP version 6 config space auto config. Next we can give IP version 6 config. This is an IP version 6 address on PC1. First 64-bit is net ID, last 64-bit is MAC address of the PC1. This is link local address. Now we can auto generate IP version 6 address on network 2. We can go to the PC2. So in command prompt we can give IP version 6 config. Next we can give auto config. Next IP version 6 config. So the IP version 6 address can be auto configured. This is a link local address. So if it is FE80, so IP version 6 address starts with FE80 means it is a link local address. This is default gateway address of network 2. So the default gateway address can be generated as the MAC address of that router fast ethernet 0/0. Okay, now we can auto generate the IP version 6 address on PC3. So go to the command prompt, we can give IP version 6 config space auto config. Next we can give IP version 6 config. Okay, this is an IP version 6 address of PC3. First 64-bit is net ID, last 64-bit is MAC address of that PC3. This is default gateway address of network 2. Now we can auto generate the IP version 6 address on PC4 and PC5. We can go to the PC4. In command prompt we can give IP version 6 config space auto config. Next we can give IP version 6 config. IP version 6 config auto config. Next we can give IP version 6 config. So here the IP version 6 address cannot be generated, so we have some mistakes is there, so we can identify now. So we can go to that particular router. So interface fast ethernet 0/0, we have to enable this interface as an IP version 6. So IP version 6, next we can give enable exit. Now we can check it. IP version 6 config space auto config. IP version 6 config auto config. IP version 6 config. Yeah, now we can get the IP version 6 address, because in router 2 the fast ethernet 0/0 cannot be enabled as an IP version 6. So that's why only PC4 cannot generate the IP version 6 address. Now it can generate. So this is an first 64-bit is net ID and last 64-bit is host ID. So host ID can be generated depends upon the PC4 MAC address plus FFFE. So this is default gateway address. So link local address. So that can be generated the MAC address of the fast ethernet 0/0 plus FFFE. Okay, auto assign the IP version 6 address on PC5. So IP version 6 config space auto config. Next we can give IP version 6 config. Yeah, so this is an IP version 6 address for PC5. Okay, Now we can configure the RIP next generation routing protocol. Here we can use the routing protocol RIP next generation routing protocol. So first of all we can go to the router 0. So in router 0 we can go to the global mode. In global mode we can give, so the syntax for creating RIP next generation routing protocol is IP version 6 router RIP. Next we can give the name. In IP version 4 we can give router RIP, then we can give the autonomous system number, but here we can give the characters, so that characters should be match all this router, then only it can be communicated. So the syntax for creating RIP next generation routing protocol is IP version 6 router space RIP. Next we can give the characters. Here I will give Cisco. So router 1 and 2, all these router we can give Cisco. Okay, next we can give exit, then we can go